today it's a beautiful topic actually, post-lunch session, right? Where you tend to sleep. Generally, you have to have a fight between hero and the villain so that it makes you awake. So request you, if some chairs is there, you can occupy the chairs, and it's going to be very, very interesting, trust me. Is AI, right? It's a villain or a hero? It's more sounding like a Kamala Hassan movie, right? It's something like that. So I'm very happy. I'm Arvind. I'm head of cybersecurity practice from Explio Solution Chennai. And then I have supported cybersecurity in IT, non-IT, automotives, BFSI. So we have done. And then I so privileged, very much honored that I'm moderating two of the best opposite poles expertise. Like one is from absolutely with the digital platform, and another is hardcore into non-IT platform. Thank you so much, Ishant. Ishant, to start with, you're the founder of FleetSpeed Networks, and predominant is this company is nothing but the top 100 SMEs in India get awarded from the government of India. Please give a big round of applause. And Ishant's dream of being a CEO, it's not just started a decade before, it started right from your engineering. All the best, and let's have a beautiful panel. And next we have Abdul. He is AVP right now in Techno Digital, and 2 decades of missionary projects. It's not 1 year, 2 years, 2 decades of missionary projects, mission critical projects, and he is taking care of both operations and delivery in all the projects. And he have been into Middle East, India, and all these things, and in Qatar especially. His company, and he headed the project with energy efficiency projects, where the Ministry of Qatar has awarded Tarsheed. It's a very honorary award from Qatar. It belongs to Mr. Abdul. Please give a big round of applause. And to start with, that's the opening remark. And generally, rather going as a hero, we'll start with the villain to enrich the conversation more. As a villain, right? The emerging of AI, I like to start with being a founder in digital era. So how the apprehension surrounding the cyber security with respect to AI, and especially on the cyber crime, what do you see in a digital world, Nishan?
Thank you, Arvind, for a very good introduction of both the panelists and a warm welcome. So, to start with, I want to say I am an AI maximalist. Okay, I believe in the good of AI, the potential of AI. But yes, I agree with your question. It can be a villain as well. So, especially in the IT world, or not even IT, it's just the corporate world, we are seeing a lot of new challenges coming with AI. One of them maybe you've heard a lot about is the deep fakes. Okay, and the CEO deep fakes. So recently, one company in Hong Kong, they lost around $25 million just because someone did a deep fake of the CEO, sent the email to the accounts team, and they just processed the payments without any approval, right? So not just deep fakes, there's phishing scams, there's automated attacks, there's denial of service attacks. And AI is not just enabling them, it is enhancing them, it is making it smarter, and it is becoming more and more difficult to prevent them.
Thanks. And by the way, we are original now. We are not deepfake, right? He's Ishant, Abdul, I'm Arvind, okay? So the same thing, same application. Absolutely is explained on the digital world. How you see in non-IT environment, Abdul? Can you show us lights on that?
See, the non-IT networks is equally vulnerable nowadays. See, these are all operational technologies which has been developed a few decades back. For example, the SCADA system or the BMS, these are all legacy systems. Now, because of its minimal exposure to the internet world in the past decades, the security systems of these networks are very poorly developed, or it is non-existent, I would say. So with Industry 4.0 coming into picture, so these networks are also quite vulnerable to attacks from cybersecurity. And again, this not only compromises the non-IT networks, but it paves the way to get into your IT networks as well. So it's a really major concern these days.
Okay, so that really kindles me to ask the tailing question. So since you said SCADA system PLCs, right, obviously you should have a data center to operate. So especially with non-IT related data center, how you see this affecting the security part?
See, again, using of machine language and LLMs, uh, your OT technologies can be threatened by, say, data poisoning through your sensors. See, for example, in SCADA or any EPMS system or a BMS system, there are hundreds and thousands of sensors in your data center, and the manipulation of this data from the sensors creates a large impact in your logic where you have assigned for your AI model to react whenever there is a temperature rise. It can be faked and it can
You
give a
have,
thermal runaway.
and equally you have embedded device also attached to it.
Yes. And also, this is one of the things. And second is the detection evasion. For example, in CCTV networks, like what Ishan was saying, the deep fake, you can easily alter the situations to look normal, but your video analytics will think it is a normal situation, but however, the AI can make it as a vulnerable threat. These are other issues which we are facing.
So before moving to Ishan, just I want to throw one open question to the audience. So do you think that we are talking about security threats and other stuff? Do you think what is the maximum percentage of attack happened both in IT and non-IT? You know, any idea? Which is most vulnerable? Is this your access? Is this your zero-day exploitation? Any idea? It's access. You know what's the percentage in 2023-24? You know what is the percentage of access-related issues like authorization, authentication, privilege escalation? You know,
I think
63%.
around 65%, right?
63%. So what it implies is, you people human, we are human, right? That is the weakest chain in the, that is the weakest chain, because you know, it's your username. You're not securing it. You're just closing the Chrome directly. That's the problem. So with the same thing. So what do you think, Ishan, which is most vulnerable right now? Is this the lateral movement, like IAM, PAM, access management, or any zero-day exploitation?
So for any exploit, the end goal is to gain authentication into those systems, right? Now, with that end goal, we have to see how AI comes into play. Now, people have been doing all of this hacking, gaining authentication since many years, a lot before AI became the in thing. But AI makes it smarter, it makes it easier to scale, and it makes it very, very efficient in terms of speed. Okay, so if, for example, a new zero-day exploit is found, how easy it has become using AI to just test it across the globe, across all the public or private networks that are available. Okay, compared to doing it manually against each and every target, now hackers are able to do it at scale. Okay, so zero-day exploits and exploiting those exploits has become very easy because of AI. But then what happens after they gain access to a single machine? So for example, there is a complex OpenStack cluster or a Kubernetes cluster or something like that. Gaining access to one virtual machine has become easy because of that speed, okay, because of the parallel execution of this AI. After they gain access, a human requires a lot more time to understand now what all is available to that person. Okay, whereas an AI being smarter, being faster, they can map out the entire network of that cloud, of that data center, and they can find more. They, I'm saying as if they are people, but the AI as a machine can find out more vulnerabilities. They can map out that entire data center, and they can then test all of those zero-day exploits much faster. Okay, so I feel lateral, movement within after they gain access to a network is actually the biggest threat right now, because what we generally protect against is the edge. We don't protect against your own internal VM attacking your other internal virtual machines. Okay, and then gaining access and gaining that authentication becomes very easy for the hackers.
So slowly I could see that Ishant is coming from villain to hero. No, he started supporting AI this day. But in addition to that, no, I'm accepting the point from the IT sectors, and then with non-IT, Abdul, why AI? Can we do traditionally, aram se, no hiccups? you're putting deep fake and my mom doesn't know whether it's actually son or not, right? So all these things, why what is the significance? Can we do a basic traditional method, write a book, have a pen?
See, again, if you go with the basic traditional method, your vulnerability is again increasing because most of these systems have embedded softwares, and these don't come with patch updates like the IT networks normally do. So when we are
Then I will
integrating,
be behind. Other
yeah,
technologies going,
yeah,
then I will be
yes,
behind. Yeah.
yes, yes. So when with Industry 4.0 picking up and AI boom in place, so we have to integrate the operational technology, which is with operation technologies has to be upgraded with AI, so that the threats could be eliminated. So utilizing it in a proper way, so on supporting the existing OT technologies, I think AI can replace the traditional network system, network security.
So, so Ishan, as Abdul rightly pointed out, whether to accept or not, we are dependent on AI, right? Whether it's on development side, whether it's on testing side, whether it's on security side, even whether it's on capability building, right? So are you seeing any risk of over dependent on AI? Especially, when you spoke like about hybrids, you started talking about Kubernetes, right? Containers, clouds, and slowly I think the quantum computer systems are coming into the picture, right? So when you see that, and at the same time, the emerging AI technology in all aspect is also growing. Are we seeing, or are you seeing, being a founder of a company, are you seeing any risk of over dependent on artificial intelligence?
Well, in some cases we are seeing that. Okay. So
And
for
you can
example,
show up some remediation also. If say you are over dependent,
yeah,
then I think that's the red alert for,
yeah,
right, in future.
yeah.
So you can show some lights on how we can minimize it or how we can mature it.
So, I mean, even in a B2C or normal use case, you can see how people are over dependent on ChatGPT, right? You put in something, it generates an answer. You don't even think whether that is actually what is true or it is just spitting out something, right? So that over dependence has started. You see it within companies, you see it within students, you see it all over the globe. Okay, we are blindly accepting whatever AI provides us without validations, without human oversight that is there. So that is affecting it a lot, because when you blindly accept, okay, you are going to then start making operational mistakes. You are going to have outages, downtimes. You are going to be more vulnerable to security attacks, right? Apart from that, you also have to understand how that AI has been trained. So, for example, you can look at cross-boundary AI. Okay,
Especially why? Because when you're putting cloud into picture, there is no geography.
correct.
I have my data. It might be sitting in Florida. It might be sitting in Melbourne. It might be sitting in Istanbul also. Who
Right,
knows? Yeah.
right. So when you talk about cross-boundary AI, you never know, what your team or your peers and others are putting into that AI, where that data is actually going. Okay. So when you talk about, say, India and Europe, India has a Data Privacy Act that has just come up.
DPDPA. Yeah.
Yes. Then Europe has GDPR. Okay. And when you have, cross country teams, when you have cross country data centers, right? You never know who is putting what data into this, blind AI, and where that data is then being used. So I think Microsoft had some kind of leak where 38 GB or TB of data was spit out by the AI, where it was captured from GitHub.
From
From GitHub.
GitHub.
Yeah. And now imagine that in, say, Germany's data. Okay. Just some user in Germany, some government user in Germany just put something into ChatGPT. And in India, you found all the, employees of the German government using Indian ChatGPT. Okay. Then it will be a violation of both GDPR and the Indian Privacy Act. So that is why, it is very difficult to just blindly trust AI. We have to, government policies have to evolve. Okay, the data privacy has to evolve. The providers of these AI models, they have to also evolve to put some kind of barriers in place that respect these political boundaries, that respect these laws, and make sure that the safety is maintained across
So
geographies.
what do you mean to say that it's not only about the regulation?
Yeah,
Make sure your governance, risk, compliance also adhere properly as
correct,
from the policy level to the implementation level,
correct.
right? Okay, so then that leads to the same question, Abdul. So data remains the same, right? Even if you are using a SCADA or PLC's controllers in the industries, obviously you're going to have data across all your network, right? It's not, say for example, you're working in Bahrain, you might have a site which will be there in Qatar also, Doha also. It will be there in Abu Dhabi also. How you try to get those data across geographical boundary in non-IT sectors?
Again, to communicate between geographical boundaries, we have to enter the IT networks. So without that, we cannot communicate.
So Ishan is the villain.
Yeah, Ishan is the way. He is the gateway. But though the AI models, what Ishan might be using for finding the threats, might not be sufficient enough to handle the OT technologies. Because majority of the AI today in the world are trained for major IT networks and the cyber security threats which is hampering the usage, which is hampering the IT networks alone. And also the lack of OT content to train the AI or the ML, that is a bigger challenge what we are seeing today. It has to be slowly integrated. All the OEMs and the industry experts have to come together, and the operations teams has to come together, and then we have to start working together to build the learning capabilities of our AI and ML models.
So when Abdul raised a nice point, right? We really need to increase or enhance the expertise. So, Ishan, I start from you. So, since post this Operation Sindoor, I think they immediately what we did was we tried to conceal our cybers, right? As a country, Ishan, do you think that we can or or we have the capability in house or we still yet to receive or yet to develop our skill set so that the upcoming threats through AI ML can be eradicated at the same time using AI and ML we can do the remediation as well. So how are we as a country now?
Uh, Not an authority on this, but
But
yeah,
generally,
yeah.
as a
So,
technology, not I'm not asking any political answer.
yeah,
I'm just saying that expertise level. When
yeah,
she said
yeah,
expertise, controls you said,
correct.
right?
Yeah.
How are we in controls as a nation, across organization, across industries? How are we with the skill set? How are we with the governance?
Correct.
That's my question. Yeah.
Correct. So all of you might have heard of the India AI mission and Niti Aayog, right? So India AI mission is already, it has tied up with all the data centers. It has provided a pool of GPUs for people to make an Indian model. There's a company which has also been chosen to build India's first model, so it reduces our dependency on international models as such. Something called Safety Institute has been created, which will make policies and programs specific to India, which is a big step forward compared to just taking stuff from other countries or other companies. So definitely there are steps being taken in the right direction. It will take some time, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take some time to have our own models, have our own platforms, programs for security, and taking India to the same level where, say US has already reached. Apart from that, I think private companies have already taken major steps. You can see, so for example, banks, they are already using AI a lot in transaction fraud monitoring, right? You have some fraud transactions, within seconds your card gets blocked. So private companies are ahead of the government right now, and that is generally the case. But government and the overall India AI mission is catching up. So definitely using our own innovation, our own indigenous development, we should work on it. But apart from that, till we catch up to other countries who are ahead of us. We can learn from them. We can learn from both private and government, and use the latest implementations to secure us till then.
Any additional thoughts?
See, when we come to the people working in non-IT networks, our expertise on security is zero.
Okay.
That's what I would say.
Then you have my visiting card.
Yeah, thanks for it. So what we have to do is we have to start training our workforce to agree that the OT technologies can also be a prime target for security vulnerability. And as any IT network will consider as a safety first approach, the same approach has to be adapted for non-IT networks as well, so that during the design phase itself we can start addressing those issues. And also, without this fundamental shift in the mindset of the people, just simply putting an AI over a non-IT network or a OT technology is not going to help. So we have to collaborate together with the AI, OT technology people, and then build the AI which will be suitable to avoid the threats of the OT technology.
Okay, we started as a villain, no? We navigated towards the heroism, and now you're putting AI as a character artist, right? So what it says is it's either a villain or a hero right now. It depends on how the screen plays. That is how the data is given, right? How the governance has been done. Okay, so as a conclusion, final question, both of you. I will start with Abdul. See, Abdul, if AI is your ally, it's your support, right? It's your team, not as a patch tool or not as a subordinate supportive this thing technique. How you see this supportive tool should be incorporated in the organization? Is with the tech stack, or as you said, mindset, right? Fostering the culture or knowledge, bringing more and more knowledgeable people, more and more vigilant people into the system.
See, it doesn't just stop with putting a tech stack or changing the mindset or developing a culture. It has to be a combination of all. So
Interesting.
we have to have the technical expertise. We need to start educating the people so that they can understand the AI requirements, and also adapt the change, because change is the only constant in the world. So we have to change as per the time.
So
Completely
show and
agree. Yeah, completely agree with Abdul on this. It starts with the cultural mindset change, and then once your mindset has changed, you're more open to upskilling yourself in the AI world. Okay, and then you will be able to embrace all the tooling and tech stack that is available to use it in the organization. AI right now is siloed in your organization, where you're doing your work and you're just touching AI in between. Whereas AI should be fully integrated into your organization, but without blind trust, with some kind of critical thinking and human oversight as well. And we should move from a reactive mindset that we have without AI and use the AI's abilities to become more predictive and proactive.
So thank you. And so as a conclusion, see what all the technology, what all the innovation you see, it comes from this intelligence, right? This is the intelligent. So you, as rightly said, don't make it as a compulsive reaction, make it as a conscious response, right? It's your responsibility to provide data, feed data, so that AI will be a very good emerging technology which really, really helps and support our country, our community, and our mankind. Thank you, gentlemen. Nishan, thank you,
Thank you.
Abdul. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for your presence.
you.
I hope audience enjoyed it. Thank you so much.